Welcome to our webcast on the Flexbar. If the English osteopaths have sold you a Flexbar, it's probably because you've either got a wrist injury or a shoulder injury. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use it for the shoulder injury first, and then later on for the wrist injury. When we have a shoulder injury, the muscles in the rotator cuff here generally a little bit sore or irritated, and they can be rehabbed by using them in functional movements. And what this bar does is, if it's held in the hand here and it's moving up and down, moving like this, it actually creates a contraction from the muscles at the front and the muscles at the back really quickly around the shoulder joint without putting too much movement into it. So if I hurt my shoulder and I find this sort of stuff painful, I can actually just hold it here, move it forward and backwards, and I'm getting a contraction through these muscles, keeping them strong and helping them rehab quicker than would be just to hold it still. So this is going sort of forward and backwards, but also it can go side to side like this. If I hold it here, it's going to create slightly different movement in the arm. It's going to, my shoulder muscles are going to stop my arm from moving in and out like that. So just holding it into the front and moving it side to side. That would be the first part of a rehab program for the shoulder. So you could do this movement for about 15-20 seconds, or just until the time of pain comes. So stop just before the pain. Once the shoulder can start moving a little bit, you want to start moving it up and move it in this plane and going forward and backward like this. This is called the sagittal plane, and so you can move the hand up and down in the sagittal plane. Now, moving the Flexbar towards me and away from me here, you can also move it left and right, and so you can move it up in the sagittal plane whilst moving the bar to the left and to the right. From the front, that looks like this. The amount of times you want to do that for is for sets, or for sets of 10, or for a period of time. So you can do it for up to about 30 seconds. So this would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 3, and so on up to 10. Then you can also use the Flexbar in the frontal plane. And the frontal plane is this plane that goes up and over the side of my head. So I'll be using the bar out to the side here, and up and over. And that just kind of jumps off the top of the screen there, but you get the idea. So that's the frontal plane, and again I can move it this way and bring it over into the frontal plane like that. And the last plane is this rotational plane. So I'll be moving it across my body right to the end of range there and then back. And what we like to do with this is actually get a person to balance a little bit. So they balance on one foot, and a left foot, let's say in this example, and the tiptoes of my right foot. So left foot down, right foot, tiptoes. And I can bring it up as though I'm taking a sword out of a scabbard, and I would move it up and over, really extending up through here, getting my biceps to work into my shoulder, my pectoralis muscle here to work up in my chest, and that goes through to my abdominals, my oblique muscles, right into my hip flexors, which are being extended here, and then move that down and do the opposite movement here, getting the lats involved, getting the trapezius, the triceps, getting my glute muscles here involved, just really integrating the shoulder back into correct function through the hips and the middle part of the back. And so that type of exercise is quite advanced, and that'll be for people who have a little bit of pain right at the end of range there. So if you come and see us and you say, yeah, my shoulder's pretty good, but maybe a few months ago I fell on it and I just feel a little bit of pain right at the end of range. That is the exercise for you. Okay, the other thing that the Flexbar is really useful for is for forearm and wrist pain. And the way you can strengthen the muscles in the back of your wrist here is to hold onto the Flexbar. I'm going to strengthen my right hand. I'm going to twist my left hand forward a little bit, and then I'm going to just bring the left one back. You can see that these muscles here are kind of working hard in order to do that. And so I'll be doing it either for time, 30 seconds to 45 seconds of continuous movement, or for reps, 30 reps, 40 reps, whatever works for you. Now this green bar is the middle of the three, so it's sort of the medium resistance. The red bar is a little bit easier, and the blue bar is a little bit harder. And this one I find is very useful for myself. So that's going to be the back of the hand. Also, you can rotate this way or forward to work these muscles here, the forearm flexors. So again, same reps, same amount of time. Now there's certain movements in the hand. This one is called supination, this one's called pronation. These can be trained as well. If I was to hold the Flexbar like this and actually just turn my hand up, I'll be training my hand into pronation. Really working on these deep pronator muscles through here. If I move the bar this way around, I'll be working my hand into supination. and working on these forearm muscles here. I'm just going to show you that from a slightly different angle, so it's just coming into here. Lastly, the wrist moves this way and this way. This one's called ulnar deviation, this one's called radial deviation. If I want to work into those two movements, I can just put the Flexbar, or the tip, or the end of it, onto the table and just really move it this way, really getting these muscles on the bottom of my forearm to work hard. And then the other way, so I just bring the arm back, or the tip of the Flexbar back, and work into this direction here. So just give you that just from a side view, we're just working like that. Okay, so to recap, you can use the Flexbar to do the forearm muscles on this side of the arm, Flexbar to do the forearm muscle this side of the arm, and you can train it to do this movement, pronation, this movement, supination, this movement, and this movement. Your osteopath will help you with the specifics of those, and if you need any questions, if you've got any questions, just ask them. But basically, this is a great tool for getting the forearm, wrist, shoulder, and really right down to the middle part of the back, and even into the hips, for integrating the whole body back into sort of health, and really great tool for rehab.